Today I'm out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Got a brand new T64 with the track that is run off to the inside of the machine. And these are kind of the most difficult tracks to put back on, especially when you're in the middle of nowhere. Now, I've got my truck here, of course, you know, with the crane and everything. I could have this track on in 15 minutes, but what if I didn't? What if I didn't have a crane and all these special tools and stuff? What if I'm this guy who owns this machine and my track ran off in the middle of a field? There's no construction material out here to block under the back to lift the machine up. We have the bare minimum. We're going to need at least the bare minimum. You're going to need a jack stand, some hand tools and stuff to get this up off the ground. So here's what we got. You can see on the front idler, it is run off to the inside, and on the bottom rear idler, it is also run off to the inside, but it's still on the sprocket. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove this plate right here, and we're going to have to first release the grease in the, there's a hydraulic cylinder in here. It's a hydraulic cylinder, although we use grease to extend it. It's still hydraulic, so what we're going to have to do is release that pressure and get this front idler pushed in. Now it's a one-way, or one-way acting cylinder, basically, not a double acting, a single action cylinder, I guess we could say. Kind of like a forklift. We pressurize one side, the cylinder extends, and we have to use pressure or weight or something to get that cylinder to come back in. Now I am going to have to get the machine off the ground, and I'm going to use the bucket to kind of raise the machine up, just like the customer, I believe, tried to do. Whenever you do that, if you don't intend to have your bucket flat on the ground, you're going to have to take this front door off. You see, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I think he was trying to raise the machine up and somehow caught the glass and busted the glass out of the door here. These doors are so easy to take off. Literally, we're going to unplug it right here and just lift the door frame right out of the hinges. And that way the door's not going to interfere. We can have our arms up, we can get in and out of the tractor, stepping over the arms, of course, not under them. But let's just get the door out of the way. It's literally no tools, 15 seconds, if that, to pull this door off and set it aside so we don't damage it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and get this door frame off, and I'm going to use my vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to clean up all this, broken glass that we got down in here, and get it out of the seat and all, and just get it cleaned up. And then I'm going to get my jack stand out and get this staged, and I'm going to show you. I might struggle with it. I'm going to do this without tools. Let's see what happens. Now that I got the machine off the ground a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and remove my access cover to my grease fitting here on the cylinder. Let's see. This one looks like sometimes you'll have two fittings inside on the other tractors. This one just has one. And it's where you fill and release the grease, and in this case it's going to be a 9/16. So I'm going to get that fitting loose, and now grease is coming out of it inside the hole here, and the track is actually lowering itself. Just the weight of the track is pushing that tensioner in a little bit. So I'm looking at, normally this is where I would get my crane out and I'd put the strap, and you can do this with a big, you know, 1.5 or 2 inch ratchet strap as well, one of the big ones I guess, but usually this is where I would hook my crane to the track, and I would just pull the track up and it'll just push that tensioner right in. You know, we bar the track on and pump it up and roll. But I think what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to use the loader arms to raise, I guess basically to pull the track up and collapse that, because we got to get that front idler in just as far as we can to get this track back on. Especially a new track, a new machine like this, there's not much stretch to the track. It can be a little difficult. So I don't know, let's see if this works. I'm pretty happy with the way that worked. That pushed the idler all the way in. You noticed I was going real slow with the bucket, watching the tension on my strap too, just to kind of make sure I didn't pull too hard and damage something. And I just used the rag over the arms so I didn't scratch his arms on a brand new machine. I guess the only special tool I'm going to have to use is a track bar. And it's not really special. I mean, this is just a big tire iron, and I'll leave a link in the description where to get this, but you're gonna have to have something like this. You own a track machine, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're gonna have some tools available on your truck, I believe, to at least assist you in getting a track back on, because it happens. It does, unfortunately. Normally what I would do, and I haven't ruled it out yet, is I'll pull the sprocket off. And that'll give us that much more room to get the track back on the idlers, and I still may do that. Let's see if I can get this idler, the rear one, I guess, back on. I'm just going to go ahead and take this rear idler off. Let's just get out of our way, our rear sprocket. I've done enough of these to know just to get it out of your way. And let's try the front. All right, well, the front was easy. Now let's see if I can get this back on. So I do need this back off the ground as high as I can, but there's a lot of sag in the track in the middle. If I could get that track up somehow. Again, there's no boards, there's no logs. I mean, I've got stuff on the truck. I've got all kinds of special rollers and pin rollers and extra bars and stuff. I mean, like I said, this would have been done easily in 10-15 minutes, but I'm trying to do it as if I didn't have any of that stuff. I guess I'm spoiled. Spoiled. Yep, there's the redneck. I done got spoilt with the truck and crane and everything else. You know, the sprocket dropped quite a bit on the drive motor. I was hoping I had enough room right there to leave enough slack where I could get it on this rear idler, but it's hard to get my bar in there. Again, I would throw pins in there. Bucket pins is what I keep on the truck. Just roll it back on there and slide it right on. It wouldn't be a problem, but not everybody has access to that stuff. And today, I don't either. Well, I found a couple scrap pieces of wood out in the field. What do you know? Let's see if I can maybe that'll give me the room I need back here. Oh, there it is. All right, so now what I'm going to do, that I've got it on the front and rear idler, I'm going to put the machine back on the ground. That way it'll give us enough slack to get our sprocket back on. You know, and again, the reason I wanted to do this a hard way is because I wanted you to see how it's possible. I mean, everyone has a different way of putting tracks on. Everyone. I'm just showing you a different version. So I certainly don't do this for the views or for the money, but certainly not for the money. I do it for you because I genuinely care about how you work on your equipment and trying to make things easier for you, giving you different perspectives, different ideas of how people do things. So I certainly appreciate you watching. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget about the YouTube Super Thanks. If you look right below near the description and all, there's YouTube has a new Super Thanks option, man. I really do appreciate the support, because without you I couldn't do these videos. So again, any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.